First, I want to kind of start from the beginning. I know that you had an interesting background. I think you studied guitar and classical singing, and you did a bit of heavy metal in your early career, and now you're full on kind of Italian music folklore. So, do you want to talk a bit about your musical journey from when you started?
Actually, heavy metal has been a big part of my life because I started when I was 14 with my best friends. We started a metal band. This was in 1989. I did 5 albums with them, toured a lot across the world. Actually, the band is still alive and they never quit. It's now 34 years going on. The band name is called Anonymous with M-U-S and not M-O-U-S. So it's in Latin because the band sings in 4 languages: Italian, Spanish, English, and French. The band is in a major tour this summer because of the 5th album that we did is the 20th anniversary, which is called L'Académie du Massacre, the Massacre Academy. And I'm actually going back with them for just 2 major gigs this summer. So I go on. It's been 17 years actually that I'm not in the band anymore, and I did 17 years with them. So it's just crazy. So it's now the same time that I've been in the band that I have not been in the band. So it's just great to be back just to do a couple of shows with them. And I did study in classical guitar and classical music, classical singing. For me, music is music. So when it's good, it's good. And when it's not, it's not.
I find in Quebec, there's a lot of people that embrace a lot of different styles and world music styles, and that there's sometimes people from those origins and sometimes Quebecers. Like I'd look at Lassa, for instance, and her
Yeah.
music was
Oh,
very beautiful and very Mexican, but she had some players with her, as far as I understand, from Quebec that were very much from that tradition, but just great players that could embrace that. Are you finding that as well? And is that part of who makes up your band, or are you all Italian descent? How does that work?
you're giving me goosebumps right now, okay? Because you just mentioned Lassa. When I heard their first album, La Llorona, all that ambiance of that album, really, I was in the metal scene at that time. But when I heard this album, it was like my point of,
Like an
what
inspiration?
my inspiration really a lot. And actually, I actually met François Lalonde, which is the drummer, and he's also the producer. He co-produced many albums of Lassa and played with her many times. So I rang his door, his doorbell, and I asked him if he could produce my first album, and he did. He produced actually my first 2 albums. So I really wanted Lassa de Sela's aura in my albums, and that's what happened when my first album in 2004 called Que la Vita was really recorded exactly where she recorded La Llorona. And I don't know, something happened even with my first album, because my first album, when I got it out, I wasn't expecting it to be a career, but just a personal album that I just wanted to share. And something happened. I had no plan. And I sold 20,000 copies in Quebec, and it just like blew up. And from there, I started doing many shows. I started putting all my day jobs to really play.
I love that Lassa link and this and the
Oh,
producer
no,
is
thank you
fantastic.
for just throwing that out because for me, it's very important. All those musicians, Yves Desrosiers, which I
Oh,
see.
he's so
Yves
good.
Des-
I love his music.
his album Volodia is amazing. A tribute to Vysotsky. All this ambiance, you can hear it. If you listen to Lassa, you listen to my first album, Que la Vita, you listen to Yves Desrosiers' Volodia, you can hear the link from one to another.
You were saying you play a whole bunch of different Italian styles, including Tarantella.
Yeah,
I listened to a little bit of your latest album, 2019,
yeah.
Cavalry Bang Bang. And to me, I hear Italian sounds. I hear a bit of a circusy feel. There's some horns. You also say you like reggae in different styles, but sometimes when I hear that, I think, oh my God, it's too much of too many styles. And sometimes with some people, it doesn't coalesce. Whereas I find with you, it really coalesces. So how do you approach incorporating all these styles and sort of bringing in Italian traditions with your Quebec background? How do you approach it, and what kind of final sound are you sort of attempting?
I don't have a direction. I really just go with the feeling. And sometimes it's like trying a song out live, just because I also do a lot of one-man band shows with my 103-year-old kick, 28-inch kick, bass drum, meaning, and hi-hat, guitar, kazoo. With this, I try a lot of stuff. Sometimes it's new interpretations. I love old retro music, so when I just try, I don't know, a song from the 50s or the 60s, and I give it my own touch. But so it's just trying stuff and I try to do the right mixture because it doesn't always work with everyone. And I do have fun doing this, trying to really do the good dosage between one style to another or an instrument. Also, like on my latest Calliari Bang Bang album, I wanted harmonica. We have great harmonica players in Quebec, and this one called Pascal Veillette is just amazing. And I called him up for one song, and finally he did like 6 songs. So it's just trying something. It's chemistry.
Yeah, completely. And how do Italians respond to your music when you go to Italy? What do they think about it? I mean, I know you can't say all Italians and represent them, but
No,
how are you perceived in Italy?
as we say in French, qui se ressemble s'assemble. So in English, I'm sure there's something that says this. It's you know who feels like you, well, will come to you. So that's it. So musically, there's always some bands and some and a public for the kind of music that you listen to and that you play.
You said you got a lot of touring happening this summer, so talk a bit about that, and also talk about what you were looking forward to coming to Alberta to play at Wild Mountain.
Before talking about Alberta, I have a festival also. It's been the second year. It's the second edition. My festival is called Festival au Galop. It's on a stale. This year we're doing a 3-day program. So we have folk country, we have indie pop, we have world music and First Nation. So I'm trying a lot of stuff and just inviting friends and inviting beautiful people to come and play. And there's many shows and stuff to do for kids because we're on a stale. It's just a beautiful place to be.
That's really super cool. Is Wild Mountain your only play in Alberta this summer? Or are you
It is, and that's
even
the
in the West?
yes. It's really an in and out with my quartet. Marianne Arsenault on bass, Tim Savard, a multi-instrumentalist, Demetrio Mazo on drum. We're just doing a fly in, fly out. This is really great because Jason from Wild Mountain just called me up a couple of months ago. Hey, are you free on July 15th? Sure. We just booked one show. And I just have great memories of this festival. I think it's the third time I go. And my last memory was just seeing Blue Rodeo in those mountains was like, oh, for me, it's like the perfect gift.